Our whole thing was to play blues in small clubs to get away from the whole big machine of being.
Must be nice.
We're very grateful to be, but in this huge fucking band, man. You know what I mean? In the rock world, we're in this big band. And so it's nice to come for us and just have, by the way, total freedom and no pressure to jam on the stage.
Yeah.
And write these songs that are just, they don't have to be for the radio. They don't have to be hit songs. They can be written for people who like mushroom tea. It can be. I have a new song, by the way. It's called "Skinny and the Mushroom Fairy." Wait till you hear it, Shane. It's fucking dope.
So, I guess I'm just gonna fucking tell you because it's April Fool's Day, and we don't normally broadcast on Thursdays. So here's your special announcement: Shannon Larkin, because he sold tens of millions of records, could do whatever the fuck he wants. And if you've not learned already from this show, that Shannon does whatever he wants and lives the world that he wants to live in.
His own reality.
His own reality at all times. That he can even take over the show by sending me a text message to the extent of, do you do a show on April Fools? And then made me look at my calendar and then actually think to myself, is it on a Sunday or is it on a Wednesday? It's on a Thursday. No, we don't this year. So, but this year is different. This year it's different because Shannon Larkin wanted it to be, because we sing the blues for him. You want to talk about it, Siobhán?
Well, so we joined Shannon Larkin's reality and decided that Thursday is the day we're going to have an episode. And he decided to bring along with him Shane from the Apocalypse Blues Revival. We got to know a lot about how they met, like so many great stories from touring.
Shane's the real fucking deal, dude. Can we just say that?
He's smile. He's like such a happy dude, you know? Like,
dude, he's like the ultimate, like, he said he's a surfer, but then he's also like he's a drum tech for Godsmack, but he's also like that, you know, and he fixes things like these drop little things, and then he just smiles at you and you feel better. You're like, okay.
And then it's like, I have nothing to talk about.
Yeah, he's like the feather in the wind. He's just like floating through life, living it up, doing.
Would you say it's kind of like Jason Momoa? Like
he's got the long hair and the goatee, like
he looks very regal, like a Robert Plant.
Yeah, this is just a kind of spur of the moment episode. We didn't really plan much. They just hopped on. We shot the shit. They're here to promote a new video for the Apocalypse Blues Revival. We talk all about it in the episode, so let's just jump right into it. Here's Shannon and Shane from the Apocalypse Blues Revival.
Fuck it. I'm like this. So just whoever is on point is talking is who I see. Hi, Shannon.
Hi, Shano. What's up, buddy?
Yeah.
So do we want to jump into this fucking ridiculousness and just see what kind of insanity just comes out with the apocalypse?
Well, I know that I talked to Tony Rombola today about you, Benny Goodman.
Uh-oh. Please tell me it was all lies.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you know, I think I'll say right here on 2020, man, you wanna play on our next record. We'd love to play the keys.
Nice.
He's gonna cry.
Yeah, I heard a little bit about this. I heard some whispers.
Well, hold on. It's funny you say that because I want to let you know, and Shane, you should take notes. I write all of my vocal melodies.
Well,
the melodica. So check this out. Hold on. Here's where I've been working.
Oh, gosh.
Jesus, Benny. Benny, we can't hear it. We can't hear it, Benny.
You can't hear it?
No, it's like going, it's like muting a little.
I'm probably causing it to limit. I was actually playing Voodoo by Godsmack. I figured it out on the melodica. But clearly it's not funny when you can't hear me.
That's just weird, dude.
It's like triggered drums. That was like triggered drums.
You don't like me blowing into the keyboard? That's how I make it sound so good.
All right, so we're in now. So let's just do it.
Cory, start it.
Oh, you want me to start it?
Yeah,
okay,
we've been
man.
April Fools. Start that shit, Cory.
Yeah, Is this happening? This wasn't
It's happening.
Yeah.
Shane, fucking buckle in. It's happening right the fuck now.
This is by no means a professional podcast. We're just
None.
flying by the skin of our pants, or whatever the saying is.
The stain is upset.
Welcome to 2020. My name is Cory Pays. I'm here as always with my cohorts in crime, and something just beeped. I don't know. But Benny Goodman and Siobhán Cronin. What's going on, guys?
Hey, buddy.
I'm excited to be here today. Our
Yes.
episodes are getting really fun.
Yes,
Fucking
yes.
weird day.
We're there's no rules anymore. It's just, immediately off the rails. But super special program. This is the April Fool's edition. We don't usually do shows on Thursdays, but what the hell? Let's just go for it. We are blessed to be joined by one of our favorite guests of all time, Shannon Larkin. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing great. Good to be back.
Yeah, and happy to introduce for the first time, Shane Hall. How you doing, man?
Doing great. Nice to see you guys.
Good to
These
see
guys are, in a little band called the Apocalypse Blues Revival.
Little band.
And we're super pumped. They had something special that they wanted to tell everyone. So we'll kind of hand it off to you guys real quick, and then we'll jump into some sort of chaos that
Yeah, what's happening? Because I got a message from Shannon that basically said, look, guys, this is the text message. This is how it started. Do you do shows on April 1st? First off, I'm a guitarist. I don't even know what fucking day it is now. Nevertheless, when April 1st is or when my show airs, because we don't do it fucking live. So I go and look at my calendar, call my mom, have her decipher it for me. And I'm like, no, we don't do shows on a Thursday. But for you, Shannon, you can tell the
Anything.
world, fuck you, through our show that doesn't happen on this day because you just invented it. So thank you.
Hey, that's why I love this show, man. I tell you what, 2020 was a weird year that, we wanted to get our record out in 2020, and it caused a lot of problems for us as far as like we ended up self-releasing it because the label couldn't do it at that time and all this. And but in the end, I think that the year will be remembered, obviously, forever. And we can say we put our first revival record out in 2020. And so
The apocalypse. It was the apocalypse, and you put it out
Was
during
the
the
year of the
apocalypse.
apocalypse.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, is that
appropriate.
not like a sign from God? If there is a God?
Agreed.
I tried to explain that to the label, why it had to come out in 2020, because it's Apocalypse Man. But as the business was, so we ended up putting it out ourselves. So what we're doing, and even though it's April Fool's Day, there's no big April Fool's joke or anything going on. We're actually going to show you our new video where No One Will Miss Me When I'm Gone. And it's a cool song about, that Shane and I wrote the lyrics to, about, passing into the next side, but coming back. So it's not like the final thing of going and dying and being
So
in
wait, is this like if you were like to go underwater, be frozen for 5 minutes, and then like I pump all the water out of you, we do some mouth to mouth, and then we defibrillate you, and then you come back?
Yeah.
There's a little bit of that in there.
Being cryogenically
There's a little
frozen
bit
and
of
then
that.
revived.
Shane, tell us about it. What the fuck is going on? What does this mean? Tell me more.
What he was just saying. It's a transcendence song about stepping through and like the insecurities of your soul being opened up to another reality when you actually strip away fear and stand in that moment. Who knows what you're going to see?
How big were your eyeballs when you were writing these lyrics? Like, how did you look like?
I feed off of Shannon.
Yeah. We wrote these together, man. Like it was another one of the songs that Shane and I worked a lot when we were on Godsmack tour in Europe, and we were it was really cold and it was a weird tour of like, small rooms and travel. The travel was weird. Everything was really strange for me. I was having problems at home with my sister having cancer. My mom was sick with COPD, right? So this was one of those songs that if people sometimes are on the fence of whether we're blues or not, this is a true blues song.
Mm-hmm.
And it came from being very sad for me. And then Shane enlightened me on this. We started talking about dying. And so this song is very funereal. and I always imagine like, you know, when you go to funerals are a drag. And like, so when you end up there, you know, that you try and be, you know, as happy as possible to celebrate the life of this person, but everybody's fucking really sad, you know? And then they always have these like really candid seeming photos, you know, of the person that died, you know, like up on a board or, you know, and there's photos. And so, you know, on the new video we did for the song, I wanted to make it kind of like that. And so I picked a bunch of like old pictures of Shane. I found a couple of Shane and Chewy, his dog, and a couple of him and I in Europe. You know, we would go out and just walk around in Europe and take selfies in front of like, you know, fantastic architectural masterpieces.
Yeah.
So this video has a lot of cool, like I used an old shot of Rambola when we first were doing the band, and I, you know, we had Godsmack off for a while. So I talked Tony into letting his hair grow, and, you know, he grows an afro. The dude can grow.
It's sick.
It's so rad. Look, like I always like, you know, dude, that should be your look or whatever. But anyway, so I had a couple, I put those in the video, and it was funny because Tony, you know, he didn't even see the video till a couple of days ago. And I showed him it. And as soon as he saw it himself, he's like, "Oh my God, dude, there you go."
That's so good.
So it's a cool video. I think, you know, people that know us will like it a lot, because this one, you know, we're just doing lyric videos because there's no real platform to spend $30,000 make a video or whatever to us anyway.
Yeah.
In this genre, you know. And so we were like, you know, we can do lyric videos. And I found this dude through my bro from Snot, Mikey Doling, Channel Zero dude. And
we've had him on the show.
Oh, yeah, we talked
Mikey.
to him a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
He's the man.
Dude, he's a stud.
Yeah,
he's a
awesome.
stud.
He's the king, man. That's what he is. And he's like a songwriting machine. I love that guy. But so he turned me on to this guy, David Provan. He's made all of our lyric videos. We did, I think this is the 5th one. I went crazy.
They're out there, man. They're very mind bending.
I was telling Shane, dude, I was getting flashback when I was watching your shit the other night. I was like, dude, like, 'cause I like looked at the screen, but then I looked away and it was like still moving. I'm like, what's going on?
No, even just listening, like sonically, is so like interesting and like vibey. Yeah, it's hard to categorize it for sure, but yeah, so many elements. Very cool.
You've listened in headphones?
Yeah, well, I was listening on monitors actually, so I guess not headphones, but my studio
You in the
monitors.
sweet spot?
Probably not, because you know I'm bad with setups, but from where I was sitting, it still sounded good.
So we should give a quick plug. So theapocalypsebluesrevival.com, you guys can check out, you know, the previous music, as well as I'm sure as of today, April 1st, which is totally April 1st right now. You can check out the new track, "No One Will Miss Me," which we're super excited to hear.
And we're gonna have a link to the video, so
Yeah.
you can basically just ignore the rest of the show if you find us a bunch of shenanigans and just say, "Fuck it, let's listen to the music." These guys fucking suck. April Fools, fuck you guys.
And turn up the bass. There's an 808 on there that makes your car go.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm giving away my car, by the way. So I test "No One Will Miss Me" when I'm gone in there for the bass.
Why don't you're giving away your car?
I'm going to give away my car. Yeah.
Let's jump into that.
Yeah, what's that all about?
I'm a little impressed that a singer has a car. Wait, you have a car like that?
We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
We'll talk about it later.
Okay, we'll get into it later.
We'll get into it later. Go on about "No One Will Miss Me." Shannon's on the...
Hold on, man. Show him a picture of the Riviera, dude. I know you got one. Show him. It's a podcast.
Okay, we'll go into keep talking.
We'll fucking go back and forth between topics.
We can do whatever the fuck you guys want.
I gotta grab my phone. So talk about. But anyway, so just there's an 808 on "No One Will Miss Me." Everybody needs to know that.
So crank the sub.
Boom! It fucking feels good. That's all I'm saying.
Wear the
grab my
Dre
phone
Beats
and I'll show you.
headphones and make sure you got the 40 hertz blasted.
Oh yeah.
Parametric EQ.
It's a doo-doo node. Let me go grab my phone.
And dude, so check it out, Benny. In the studio, you know, when we were laying down the 808, so I got the 808 sample, and you know, the dude had a drum machine in the studio and showed me a bunch of 808 samples, right? And none of them were like as long as I wanted it to really hang, you know what I mean? And so we stretched it. You know, you can stretch that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, Cory knows.
I'm learning how to build a lot of this stuff right now. I'm taking a class, and we had to build an 808. So I totally appreciate.
Like I hear a lot of it. Did it start with a 707?
Well, I think it's
no,
cool
building it with
It's another wonder and awe feeling for me, because like putting an 808 in a traditional blues song is another.
I was just gonna say. So when you guys are writing, do you are you obviously not constraining yourselves to the standard blues setup? Do you guys just kind of go with whatever you're feeling? Like, do you have any limitations or kind of like rules that you put in place when you're writing?
No. Fucking look at that guy. You think there's any rules?
I was kind of giving you the layup there. I figured you'd go off on that.
I like that.
So like, don't knock on my door like the police. That's all I ask.
No, it's great. It's unpredictable. I mean, that's awesome.
No, I'll do things in production, producing it or whatever, like purposely against, I think, the grain of traditional blues people would do. And it's not because I don't love traditional blues. It's just that I think that, you have to use your influences with everything. And, with, I don't know, the Stones and all the Who and all the greatest early 70s, 60s and 70s bands were all influenced by the blues and all obviously, molded their whole thing, but they made rock and roll out of it. So that's all come and gone so many times, as well as the whole punk rock thing. And, I'm in my 50s. And so I went through a lot of the different genres, and to come back now and try and be traditional blues to me would be like flogging a dead horse, And so if I can try and
defibrillate it,
put different things in there, man.
Well, I heard a lot of different things because here's what I like about it is that I can hear.
Wait, Ben, he's trying to.
Oh,
okay.
Sorry.
Shane, I want to talk to Shane for a second. Shane.
What?
You should. I put a new stereo in my 6.4, dude, and you should hear it in there. I tell you what, man, I got the baddest stereo now ever in my car.
I believe you.
It's fucking crazy.
Your 6.4 Impala,
and it's a 6.4 Impala, yeah, but and it's old, and it's not like it's cherry inside or anything.
It's a driver. What are you talking about? Stop downplaying your car.
Well, I just want you to know, I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. But you got the 6.4 Impala.
This is a 6.4 Riviera. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, yep, here. Wow.
Badass.
Oh my God.
There's a pretty girl with it right there.
Yeah.
Well, I imagine you should have a pretty girl if you're driving that.
Well, hold on a second. Here's another one. Yeah, it's got the.
Whoa.
It lays out. Away? It's on airbags. I'm giving it away. Here you go.
So why? What's the story behind
this?
This?
April Fool's joke on us.
Yeah,
this isn't an April Fool's joke. We're gonna sign and number 300 records. We're gonna sign and number them 1 through 300, and then I had a shirt. We got a shirt made that has that car on it, and I've been going through making sure it's solid car. It's a 1964 Buick Riviera. It has a 65 grill in it. It's one of a kind. It's on airbags. It's bitching. So we decided we wanted to get real fans, want our record, want our signatures on it. We're only doing 300 of them, and the vinyl's just about to come out. It's a limited edition splatter vinyl that's sick. So we'll sign them, number them, and then when we sell those 300 records, there's going to be a golden little ticket. So there's not going to be a ticket in the record. We'll do a drawing, and whoever has that numbered record that's signed we'll do it live on the thing. They'll say, hey, that's mine. Oh, and there's Shannon's 6.4 Impala. That's
I buy signed records, so cool. Count me.
Well, you're in. Well, you're in. You'll get a shirt and a record.
I'm not giving that away.
He's not giving that one away. He's not giving that one away. But mine will go away.
I'd buy. First off, everyone that's listening should fucking buy a record, because I don't want things for free from people, especially when it's music. I value music. I'm from a time when you gave me something like a CD or something, I'd be like, oh my God, they took the time to make this and press the thing or give me a tape or whatever. Like now, people don't appreciate that sort of things. I buy records. I buy the fucking limited editions. I like the signed stuff. I frame them and and I download them and listen to them on my phone and then like display them because I appreciate it. And I think it's the best way for people to support a band because when bands do that, records are expensive. People don't even realize how much it costs a band to make records. You know what I mean?
Then Shannon thought that through to a fucking T. Like, I'm new to this shit. You know, I'm new and I'm fine with that. But when he did this record, when he timed it all out, the whole purpose was to touch on that 70s, like that we wanted it on vinyl. It could only be so long. So there were other songs. We have a fucking cache of material. I mean, you're in the band now, I guess, so you should start figuring this shit out. But
it's still blues, right?
Tony didn't say he can be in the band.
Hold on, listen. I want Tony Rambola to know that I love you, and I think you're great, and your tone is
stop buttering him up, Ben.
Yeah. No, first off, I want you to know I've watched his rig for years. Hold on, no, I'm serious. I've watched his rig for a year. That guy, I'm so jealous of him because he does everything I would do if I had a tech. Because he's got like at least back in the day, had like 5 awesome amps. He's got like a VHT and a diesel and a vintage Marshall. And I'm just like, I hate you for having such awesome stuff all perfectly sounds perfect.
Yeah, in the Apocalypse, he uses sweet Fender Twins and Fender Reverbs, man. He's got, the vintage ones though, that he's collected.
Dude, the tones in his fingers, he could play through a fucking Sears Silvertone. It'll fucking sound awesome.
Oh,
true.
But there is something to say. Like, we had Eric Gales come out and jam with us once. He's like a legendary blues guy.
If people don't know, you should go YouTube Eric Gales because that dude is like, if Jimi Hendrix had like a fucking child on roids who did a bunch of fucking cocaine and played crazy, that's Eric Gales. That guy is fucking, he's like the Yngwie Malmsteen of blues.
Interesting.
That's true. He has definite speed, but he's also, a very slow hand and can play the blues like nobody's business,
He's disgusting in every way. Yeah. And he sings like a motherfucker too.
Oh my God, dude. I mean, he played on our first record, and we flew him in with his wife. We got them the required bottle of Jack Daniels and 2 bottles of red wine.
That's blues.
One song. And Eric, we'd never met him. He came in, and Tony had met him, I think, briefly, like maybe online even or somewhere at something, but never in person. And so Eric Gales comes in, man, and this motherfucker, he picks his left-handed Strat. You know what I mean? He picks that thing up. He's sitting down, roll the track, and right away, he starts with a melody lead. Boom, 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 dun, diddle, diddle, in the beginning of this song that we had, The Tower, it's called. And then, dude, when it got to the lead section, and he was doing like little wows and shit like that in with the vocals. Everything was recorded except they saved Eric so that he could hear the whole thing and they would play with the singer and all that shit. And when it got to the lead section, he started playing, man, and he's very animated. Am I unstable right right now?
No,
I mean, are you talking emotionally or as far as your camera?
Your camera's
fine.
We're captivated, Shannon.
We're sitting here waiting.
Eric Gales is making the blues faces. Yeah. Go on.
You can hear a pin drop in this room.
No, and then all of a sudden on my screen, my computer screen, it says, your internet is unstable. And I'm thinking I'm unfucking stable. So anyway, so he goes in, he starts into the lead, man, and then he fucking shreds this one part. Boom, he came down and threw both his hands up in the air like this and buckets. And so, the engineer stopped the tape. He said, and Eric Gales jumped up onto his feet, hands in the air. Did you hear that? Did you fucking hear that? Roll the fucking tape from where I stopped. And fucking, he had to jump up and applaud himself. I thought it was the coolest fucking thing I'd ever seen. And then, oh my God.
I envy that level of confidence.
We were literally all laughing, and he was laughing when he did it. He was like, did you hear that? Oh my God, roll that shit. And so, we started punching him right at the end of this awesome thing that he did. And he proceeded to just, even play better. And that was it. That was it for whatever it was, all him flying in and doing this one song. He did one take and stopped it in the middle to say how great it was. And that's fucking Eric Gills, man. That dude rules.
What a story. Oh my God.
Our sax player is pretty good.
I don't know why we got Eric Gills. I forget what I was saying in the first place that made me bring Eric Gills up.
Well, I'm curious to hear how the two of you met, you and Shannon. Like, tell us a little bit about the backstory of you guys coming together, and so we can fill the listeners in.
There's two sides of that story. I remember
you start, and then well, look at me, and then I'll interject when you think I should say something.
Okay, we're gonna try that, but I can't see you when you're not talking, but I see you right now. So let's hold on just a second. Everything is good. Hold on, y'all. Because I can see all my boys and girls right here on the right. You should have that set up to where you can see all of us. I can see. I can't.
I see Benny in red. We
tried earlier. We said to swipe, but maybe he can't get it on the device.
I'm sure I could, but it's better. Are we having fun? Is everything cool?
Yeah, all cool.
I don't know.
Yeah, I see her now.
I think Shannon's unstable.
It's nice to see her. It's nice to see Benny.
The computer's been saying Shannon's unstable, so I'm very concerned. It's April Fool's. I don't know if it's fucking with us, or if Shannon's fucking with us, or if it's this fucking acid I just took.
Well, there could be a little bit of that. What are you smoking right there, Benny?
A little bit of the dabs.
Right.
This is a regular
occurrence.
I don't feel
so bad about my red wine, though.
It's about cheers.
Red wine makes my fucking face get all flush.
Scotch. Okay. And she's drinking a Truly.
Yeah.
I think he'd kick me off the show if I was drinking a Truly. That would be fucking ridiculous.
I'm with you. I'm normally having the red wine, but I've run out, so this is my last resort.
Yeah.
This is not first choice.
Hey, no, but it's fine.
Good to stay hydrated when you're drinking.
So that's fine.
It's classy. Anyways, so if you want my side of the story to start, and then I'll cue like Shannon. It's very. It's all synergetic.
We can all learn the cues. Watch. Wayne's World taught us. So it goes 5, 4, 3. And no matter what, we'll all do it together so Shannon will know. So you do your story, but when you're ready, 5, 4, 3.
I'll try that. You gotta.
We'll figure it out.
Go ahead.
I don't know. We're just saying we were gonna. We both
tell the story.
Thank you.
Shannon's waiting.
I was working. I came up in Seattle, right? And it's funny because I had a chance years ago to try out, to sing in a project band that had like a star drummer, who his name was Dave Cruzen and was just out of Pearl Jam. And 2 of my friends were in a band with him called Diamond Star Halo. And they were like, you should try out to sing, right? Because I've been singing my whole life. I just never really you're kind of waiting to find what your thing was. Well, I was 20. I was a little younger, a little wilder, probably wasn't quite prepared for the gig, a little insecure on it, and I didn't try. So what ended up happening was I started teching for the band because I was going to be a front of house. I was going to run sound, do back story shit until I found my little angle to jump into this, to show what I thought I could do, whatever that means. So that band, so Dave Cruzen was playing for Diamond Star Halo, who then there was a whole history with that band. The singer I knew, they had drama, boom, band exploded as many bands do. They were, kind of in that Seattle scene. I was working for a production company called NAF Productions, who Mark Nafasi runs front of house at the time for Soundgarden, Alice in Chains. Oh. And I was there pushing fucking cases and trying to get my way up there. But inside of all that, I'm a pretty big personality and I wasn't seeing my life going where I wanted to. And me and Naf kind of, well, fuck you. Well, we were friends later, but one of those things. So didn't really fly that way. I ended up in backline. Well, then I go in that band with Diamond Star Halo. I watched Dave Cruzen, who is a fucking monster drummer, right? I'd never seen and understood the value of what was brought to a musical thing by what the drummer was. And I fell in love with drums. I was like, Jesus Christ. So I was doing front of house and I ended up getting on stage because that's a whole nother story, because Kevin Martin from Candlebox was in the crowd and told Bo Bly, the singer of this Diamond Star Halo band, that I had too much effects and shit, and he was crazy, so he lost his fucking mind and said, "You ruined our fucking band, there was fucking people there." And I was like, "I'm never doing front of house again, fuck you." Well,
wait, hold on. Is this a giant sound guy joke? Because I feel like this is every sound guy's joke. Like, you broke up Candlebox, dude. Like, we were on stage, or we broke up Diamond Star, or whatever, and the guy from Candlebox showed up, and like, fuck you, because you want to know what? You took out the mids. I couldn't hear my backing vocals. The mix was bullshit. And then I walked off stage and I punched that dude in the face.
Right, no, that happened. There was a fight. He tried to fight me.
No, I've seen this story. I've been in this story.
It was called The Weathered Wall, and I was mixing from a place that was up in the fucking ceiling. So it wasn't my fault. But either way, my ego was bruised. But I stayed with the band, and I ended up moving in with Dave Cruzen for a while, and I really got into drums, and the way that he had his setup was he plays different, right? So the point is that I got a fixation for fucking amazing drummers, the best drummers in the world. I've only sat with geniuses like the drummer that's now in my band. And there's a history to that of what I learned by, I've got to sit behind Shannon Larkin for 17 years. I've seen him play, and we've gone through some amazing live situations, and there's not another dude that touches what that guy does. Emotes his life behind a drum kit. So that, it's a blessing for me. Like, the fact that I'm in this band is part of a.
Don't tell that to Kiss.
Well, the drummer is the fucking backbone. And I say that, I learned that from Dave Cruzen, who, listen to Pearl Jam 10. Pearl Jam 10 doesn't tell you about what a fucking awesome great drummer does, then you don't know what you're listening to.
I will say something about Dave Cruzen. That guy is the best one and done motherfucker on the planet. He goes in, he fucking, for debut albums, he's like, I'll do Pearl Jam 10. Doesn't even make it past the first to the record. Fucking biggest record on the planet. He's like, oh, I'll do Candlebox. On that record.
He didn't do that. No, you're wrong. You're wrong.
He didn't do that one?
He did Happy Pills. He did Happy Pills. And that's how I met Shannon. That's how I met Shannon. I met Shannon because
Happy Pills.
He recorded Happy Pills. I put my whole life in a fucking storage unit and jumped in a van and drove down to LA, stayed in Duff McKagan's house while Candlebox was doing
from Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses, yeah, the first time I met him. So I was like, and I was committed. I just said, fuck it. I drove a sport bike and I told Dave, I go, I'm coming down there. And I'm going to do that record with you. He's like, oh, I don't know. I don't know where we're staying. I don't know. I go, I'm coming down there. You don't have to pay me shit. I put all my stuff in a storage unit and threw my bike in a one-way rental van and said, I'll run. I'll get whatever. Because I already knew Kevin Martin, again, from Diamond Star Halo. You see? So there was all kind of leaning towards that.
You're like Kevin Bacon is what you are. So Kevin Martin is really just like an example for Kevin Bacon. You're the Kevin Bacon of it all.
No, well, I can give you another story about it. There's a lot of 6 degrees, but we're really getting to how I met Shannon, and that was what I'm saying is there was a Candlebox story that when Dave Cruzen, the one and done, quit in the middle of a tour. Like I'm on the best tour at that time. I was on a bus tour. We're talking now we're like 97, 98. I'm out. I'm having the best fucking time of my life. All right, it was wonderful. Candlebox was playing in little smaller warm theaters. You pull up to the front. People that were out there, they loved the band. Okay, there was fun. It was rock. It was fun. And I'm not going to go into all that. So then Dave leaves the band. He quits in the middle of a tour. And I was like, holy shit, what the fuck? It's not, those times there wasn't Full Sail. You don't just get on tour with anybody. You networked. You had to know what you were doing. And at this time, I wasn't even like, my trying to be a singer or be anything. Like, I'm just survival of a roadie now. I'm living a good life. All my shit's in storage. I want to stay on the road. And so Cruzen leaves the band. Kevin Martin, who's known me a long time, was hunting for drummers and said, talk to Shannon. And and Shannon will tell you it's funny because,
Let me take over.
Hold on. We gotta do it. Cory, Siobhán. Let's do it. 5, 4.
Okay.
Shannon.
Okay, go.
Thank you, Siobhán, for the beautiful count-in.
Brought to you by Noah's Arcade.
I have a different memory of that, and I mean, while Shane was talking to Cruisin', maybe Cruisin' disappeared, and he didn't like quit the band. They never heard from him again. He disappeared, and so they were managed by the same guy, John Reese, that managed my band Amen that I was in at the time.
What do you mean disappeared? Like they were on tour and
just
they just couldn't
like,
find him?
Walked off.
I'm telling you, he disappeared. He left and went, but didn't say anything to anybody. And it probably had to do with, drugs or alcohol. I don't know. But I love fucking Dave Cruisin' and the drums. And that Happy Pills record, to me, is Cannabis' best work. And his drumming on the song Happy Pills should be in the top fucking 10 in a rock song. It's amazing. It's one of the coolest things I played. Anyway, so respect to Dave Cruisin', but there was no calling Shannon or whatever. I had to try out for that. And Kevin was freaking out because all of a sudden their drummer and they're trying to get a hold of him. They, call his number, leave message. He never returned a call. He just disappeared, went on a bender, wherever he fucking went. That's the truth. And then I got the call from my manager saying, hey, and we had just finished recording a record and had like a 3-month time period where they set the shit up and the label has to, you got a 3-month thing. And Reese is like, look, man, these guys, their drummer disappeared. They got a tour in 2 weeks. They need a drummer now. Would you do it if you have to audition? And I'm like, I was like, yeah, I like Cannabis. I didn't even have any of the records, but I knew all their hit songs from the radio. And I said, yeah, sure. Why not? How much? You know what I mean? I was poor. I was in this band. Amen. We were poor. I'm like, how much are they paying or whatever? I don't know what it was, but I said, fuck yeah. And so, and I go and like, I didn't even like, we jammed and it was, the rest is awesomeness. You can pick back up, Shane, but I just wanted to say that, it happened. It could have been like, I had to win that job, they auditioned people for that,
I didn't know that there was an audition for it. I mean, all I know was that I was like, didn't know what was going to happen with me. And then Kevin said, I remember being in this apartment and he's like, Kevin had told Shannon, like, I mean, I don't know. He got the gig and he goes, I don't know if you have a drum tech or not, but we got a guy we like. And of course, Kevin being a smartass says to him, he ain't the sharpest tool in the shed or something like the brightest ball, some bullshit like that to fucking fuck with me.
Well, if you don't want a drum tech that's this bright as bulb, because then they know better and not be a drum tech.
Maybe he was trying to upsell me. I don't know, but that pissed me off for a long time. I was like, what the fuck is Kevin saying? I'm stupid.
No.
Doing merge and shit.
And listen, man, this shit happened, man.
I thought he said he'll never lie, but he also said he'll never try. So I'm confused.
Kevin Martin said, he goes, hey man, because I won the gig or whatever. And it was funny because I couldn't even play Dave Cruisin's Happy Pills, which the main beat was written by Kevin Martin, who's also a good.
He's a good drummer.
He's a drummer. He was the original drummer in Candlebox, was he not?
He was.
It was, and then the guy, I think, didn't he pass like OD or something, and he stepped up to the plate. That's what that's how I remember it in my stoner brain as a child.
I don't know, but I do know that Kevin showed me how to play Happy Pills, and I was frustrated at first. He goes, "Well, you better know how to play because it's our single right now." So, and I go, "Well, shit." And then he goes, and he said, he goes, because he wrote the drums for you too, and he goes, "Play that song. It's it's for you." And then I went, and he goes, "Just play that beat into the Happy Pills beat. Try that." And I went, I was like, "Oh fuck, there it is. The 1 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3." And anyway, Kevin Martin, they rule. So Kevin Martin says, "Hey man, you got a drum tech." At the time, like I said, I was poor in this band Amen, and we didn't have our own crew or anything. And And I said, no. And he goes, yeah, I got this dude. He's great tech and he's really big hearted dude. You know, he's not the brightest ball, but.
Oh my gosh. You poor thing.
And I was and I laughed.
Boo, Kevin Martin.
No, because that's Kevin Martin humor. Because years later, you know, I busted him out and told Shane, and Shane fucking went to Kevin, no, I'm not the brightest ball or sharpest tool, whatever.
Yeah, I had to, like I said, like I love Kevin Martin to the moon and back, dude. I'm telling you, I like even part of that story. What brings me to Shannon was when I got the Candlebox gig. I was after that Happy Pills record, and Kevin was there, and he's like, they called me Smokey because I'd fucking smoke weed non-stop, right? Always, so they're like, Smokey. It was at the time of, you know, so he goes, Smokey, you're gonna sell merch and do drums. And he was like, I'm gonna pay you $500 a week. Are you in? I was like, yeah. That's where that went. And then, so when Dave leaves and all that shit happens, and I don't know all that drama, I'm waiting for the next tour, and I find out Dave's gone, and I'm like, what the fuck, you know? So then Shannon, I do a phone interview with Shannon.
What's
did
that
it.
like?
I don't know if he remembers.
Can we relive this phone interview? Because I want to know what an interview with Shannon. No, I know, Siobhán. I know.
It was, dude, we bullshitted for like 45 minutes, like about snowboarding and music, and it was like super about first, you know, oh yeah, you know, I think we're gonna talk about.
Are you a packed powder guy, or are you more of like, let's go over to Utah and see what's going on at the top of the mountain with the helicopter?
Well, he did whole snowboard tours with Ugly Kid Joe and shit. So we were talking about, I think I had just been up in Whistler with Kevin. So yeah, we were talking powder, and that was it. Anyways, we talked for like 45 minutes, and then he's like, yeah, sounds good. Let's do this. And then I went out on the road with him, and then my whole brain was peeled back when I'd seen this guy play live. I'm like, is that even fucking possible? Because, you know, you sit there on the hi-hat side, and we were playing, you know, and I'd never seen anything like it.
Well, not if you're Puffy. Puffy's hi-hat's on the other side, so it depends on what drummer you're talking about. And we all know how important Puffy is, do we not, Shannon Larkin?
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah, we do. It's on the other side. Just like Mike Mangini, because he's also a freak.
Yeah.
That's it. That was the story.
So what tour was that you went out with? Was this after? Okay.
Happy Pills.
Happy Pills, yeah.
But what year does that put us? Because I don't know. I'm on a bunch of Happy Pills, so I don't remember what day it is.
1998.
Dude, I think I saw you guys in 98 was when I saw Candlebox, because they came and played Loco Bazooka. And I remember Kevin wasn't wearing any shoes. That's what
he never did.
He had long, beautiful
Then
blonde.
you know it's true. He did have beautiful hair. Yeah, he looked like, I was like, this is the most hippie looking dude I'd ever seen. And I've been waiting since 92 to see Candlebox, and they played Loco Bazooka, and it was a dream come true. We had Dan Hartwell, who was the guy who put that festival together. But that was the first time I saw them was in 1998.
It was a badass band. Had Bobby Spider on guitar, and Bob Reddick on bass. What?
What you said? Robbie Spider on guitar and Rob Reddick on bass.
Oh, yeah.
And fucking Peter Klett. That was dope.
Peter Klett's a rock star.
He is a player, boy. I love him. Mm.
So that's how you guys connected for the first time and really got introduced to each other, right?
Yeah, then we toured together.
And then at the end of this, I'll say this part. At the end of the fucking Candlebox thing, because I didn't join Candlebox, you know, I had this band, same management or whatever. So Candlebox had to, you know, go on after my band fired up, our first record. And so, you know, so they were in they didn't know what they were going to do at that point because they were near the end, I guess, of the touring. Who knows? But I do know that I said to Shane, well, shit, man, we have our first record coming out. We were on Roadrunner. We had a fucking tour with Slipknot and Machine Head, all this shit coming up. And I said, you know, are you busy? You know, you want to be my tech and come to Amen? And anyway, he came with me. And then, you know, we ended up literally touring the world together, and Amen didn't have money. So Shane, we had to room with the road crew, the band. And so Shane and I literally lived together for like literally 5-6 years in this punk rock environment of a gang style environment too, with a leader and everything and lots of just craziness, drugs and alcohol and blood and chaos, crazy chaos,
Can you bring us to a moment in time where you like woke up and you're like,
I want to hear about this story.
Like you woke up and there was a tail attached to you and you have someone telling you as your lawyer, you need to take these drugs. Like, did that happen? Like, give us a moment, paint the picture, Dolly.
We did real shit. It was real.
No, I know. So tell us one of the real moments. I want you to paint us a picture with your mind.
Real moments of what?
Like where you woke up and you said to yourself,
all right, you go,
this
Shane.
is fucking crazy. This right now, this moment, I'm going to encode this in my head so that I can forever tell this story. To myself, at least.
All right. I'm walking on stage in front of 20,000 people, Australia, big day out festival, fucking did cocaine with fucking Fat Mike from No Effects.
Yeah.
Fucking high as shit. He's by the stage and fucking everything's fucking on. I'm going like this. Shane's back there. Shane really, for Amen, became too the all stage guy. He wasn't just behind the drums because my drums got destroyed anyway. So he was all over the stage, kind of. I don't even know. His job was everything in that band. Stage guy. Because Casey wrecked everything. So Shane would go around and fix it, right? So anyway, it was a big ass crowd festival situation. Like I said, the fucking Jack White standing there, whatever.
Jack White just hanging out there. It might get loud.
Yeah, White Stripes were on the bill. Anyway, Casey Chaos fucking comes and just walks onto the stage and throws a bottle about half full of vodka right at my fucking face, man. And, luckily I have the reflexes of a cat and I happen to look up.
Well, you have to because of Kiss. You have to because you are the cat.
Well, in all seriousness, it would have fucking it would have fucked me up, man. And we hadn't even played one note. The band was on, the feedback had started. We always started with the guys just hit a chord, yeah. And so and he did that to me. And like, I swear to God, when I happened to he looked right at me and did it and just threw it. I didn't do, we were friends. I don't know. He was crazy.
What?
He's crazy. So he's crazy. So anyway, when he fucking threw it, I went like this and it fucking bruised my arm. Like I played the show, but Fat fucking Mike, who wasn't even fat, from No Effects.
Well, if he's
where did he get that name? Where did Fat Mike come from?
No. Fat Mike, by the way, was fucking sober. He decided to do coke because he'd never done it. He goes, and we're rock stars now because he's on this big tour. He was just taking the piss, man. Fat Mike's the shit. He's not like
he's
a coke.
The coolest motherfucker. That guy is cool as a
coolest guy ever. So anyway, Fat Mike, I hear Fat Mike going, "Hey, dude, are you all right?" Like to him, it looked like the bot because, like I said, another fucking 6 inches, it would have smashed my fucking brain.
Wait, who threw the bottle? Did I miss it?
The singer.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, wait a minute, Fat Mike's cool, but wait, did he throw the bottle?
Oh yeah, I was confused.
My brain's not firing at full speed, guys.
Okay, so continue the story.
Continue the story. Now I know. I like Fat Mike.
But that was just one moment. And then, I was so fucking mad at that point. But it was an angry, mad music, mad band, right? We were just, we destroyed the stages and shit. But this guy did it on purpose and whatever, and would take my drums and throw my fucking cymbal stand in the crowd or whatever, and which people don't like, really.
Yeah, no.
But we had a hardcore crowd, man. And whatever. And that's a whole nother story. But the point is Shane and I became best of friends for like literally after that, then I quit Amen. And within 2 weeks got the call from Sully Arna, and within a few months got in fucking Miami living, writing a record with Godsmack. So and of course I'm the drummer. So I said, yeah, I got my tech. And I'm called Shane, you want to go and be my guy still in Godsmack? I joined in Godsmack. He's like, fuck yeah. And we've been together. It's been, you said 17 years, Shane. It's been like 98 was Cannibal.
So basically what you're saying is if you committed manslaughter in 1998,
over 20 years at least,
and you went to jail,
over 20
you guys would still be together when you got out. Like that's how long you and Shane have been together, and it also shows why
over-
Shane's in the
it's
fucking
over
band
20 years.
because it's so important for people like to realize that it's not just about. First off, Shane, you're a fucking righteous vocalist, so like rock on, dude. But
Thank you.
knowing you're a badass dude and that you can go on the road with this dude is so clearly a really important thing, especially if you're in a blues band, because most bands don't have the privilege, like you said, to be like Godsmack. Even when you're in Amen, you clearly attack. What do you mean attack, dude? We're lucky we have a sound guy. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
a fucking tech? Jesus Christ. What, are you gonna give me a bathroom next? Like, holy shit. So like, I am so excited to hear that you guys have gone that deep, because it also explains why your music sounds so fucking trippy. You guys sound locked the fuck in, because I know Shannon has been playing with Tony for fucking pushing 2 decades. And it sounds to me like you guys have been literally in the trenches having vodka bottles thrown at you. So it sounds like it on Apocalypse Blues Revival. And everyone should go to the link at the bottom of the page that Cory so politely edited in there for us with the video that drops today, because April Fools, you get music. So there you go.
Hey.
Well, so at what point did the idea for Apocalypse Blues like come up? Because obviously, you guys were together for all these years, touring, doing different projects. So where did this idea come up to do music together, like an original project?
That's a good story. Shannon could tell it. I could tell it. Whatever.
5, 4, 3.
Someone.
Am I telling it?
Well, the story is of what?
I'll tell it.
How the idea for Apocalypse Blues Revival came up.
Listen, so Harry, you want to know how it is that? So what happened in a nutshell? I used to live in Costa Rica. I've lived.
Of course you did.
I have a cool. I enjoyed my life. Okay, I've been blessed to to sit behind that guy who has an artistic vision that takes interpreting, and that's where me being his tech for a long time, I can read him, and we're close friends, and I've been able to read him. And so I think what you're talking about with our music is that when I got the opportunity, because I tried out for this band too. It wasn't just like, oh, you know what, I'm going to let Shane sing. We did 35 songs in a funk band that I got in that project because I'd got out of the States in 2003. I decided I was touring with Shannon. We were on Metallica. Went Amen, into Godsmack into these world tour out with Metallica. I felt like I'd kind of hit the premiere. Like, I've done this stuff. I wanted to surf. I'm a surfer, and I needed a little downtime, and I'd gotten an opportunity.
Too much for whom the bells toll. Now you need to go Hawaii, catch a fucking awesome wave.
Well,
God damn it, why not?
And I love Costa Rica. I love the beach and the vibe. And I'd been there, and I found this little town I really enjoyed. And a friend of mine had said, "Hey, dude, I got a shot." He'd been with this Costa Rican chick and he got a shot at this bar that was sitting right on the beach on a beautiful wave that I'd surfed and I loved. And I was like, really? And I was on tour with Metallica, and I'm like having, the time of my life, dude. It was fucking great. But I asked Shannon, I go, dude, I know we've been together a long time, but I think I need to bounce for a little bit. And I moved to Costa Rica. So he said, cool. I got a replacement who wasn't hard. He's out on Metallica, and there was a friend of his. So I went to Costa Rica. While I was in Costa Rica, I stayed there. I didn't even leave for almost a year and a half. And I started a bar, and I was getting, doing my thing. And then I needed to start working again. I was getting I was getting island fever. Called Shannon. He's like, you're my boy. Of course you can fucking come back. Let me make some adjustments. I come back to work. During that time, him and Tony were jamming with a guy that was this fucking amazing bass player that was Tony's best buddy, and they were just jamming with other people. They was kind of funk and groove shit, and it was helping Tony because Tony's way advanced guitar player from what he writes great shit in Godsmack, but this is a whole nother level of stuff that they were doing. And Shannon had all these ideas, so they're writing all this stuff. And I was there working, and they were recording. One night they were in the studio, and they were recording, and they're like, "Hey man, we don't have an engineer here. Will you just like, hit record or whatever?" And they were doing it. They were doing this groove. They're fucking laying it down. And of course, I'm a musician at heart. I'm a singer. I feel shit, and I just shoot from the hip on stuff. I'm not classically trained on all kinds of stuff, but I shoot from the hip. I got my own thing. And when they were playing, I was like, God damn, this is fucking on, right? I'm like, this is on. And so there was a mic in the control room, and I just wanted to sing. I just wanted to sing. I wanted to lay something over that. They couldn't hear it. It wasn't anything. It was just for me. So I did that. Boom. I'm like, and there, we had this jam, and I sang over it. And when they came into the control room, like, oh, goddamn, did you get that fucking magic? Oh, shit. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I did. So they were playing it back. And then there was you see a little light. Like, what was this other track? What was that? I was like, oh, well, I couldn't help it. But I sang a little track over that. And Shannon was like, oh, no shit. Well, fuck, let's hear that. Dude. And he's listening to it. And I remember it felt pretty good because they're like, because I was just freestyling, it was ad lib to say the least. The lyric.
I lost my stride today.
Yeah. Yeah, it goes like, I lost my stride today. My reason to.
I was like, hey, you want to be our singer? I got this band, man. And we played funk. And we were ants. And I called us the piss ants.
They were the piss ants. And we were going to wear masks. And we were going to, hold on, let's check this out.
So can I tell you, I had an epiphany this week, Shane. I figured out if there was any song that embodies Shannon. And now that I know what you guys are like and why you're friends and it makes total sense, there's a song. Have you guys seen the movie?
Oh, my God.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
This is a visual aid.
That's Shannon. That's Shannon's character.
For anyone that's
Ant. I mean,
for anyone that's listening, check out the video.
Yeah,
you have to watch the video, and please subscribe to 2020-d.com. April Fools, fuck you. Hold on a second. I need to tell you guys that I had this moment of epiphany this week, because every time I talk to Shannon, like for example, this week when I was talking to Shannon, Alex Skolnick came up because come on, he's important, he's fucking awesome and legendary, and he was like, oh, we toured with those guys in Wrathchild, and if you talk to him, just be like, thank you for your kindness or what. But I was talking to him. I was going back and forth. I was having a sidebar. So I actually wrote to Alex and hey, Shannon from Godsmack says, hi, and he wanted you to know that he appreciated your kindness. And I screenshot it and I sent it to Shannon, and then he writes back 5 hours later, what's up? And I'm like, dude, I don't know what world you're living in, but I want to be there. So I realized at that moment that it's like the Little Mermaid when she goes, I want to be where the people are. I want to see them dancing. And she's all confused by all the things that have sunk under the sea, and all she has is a guy, talking in a Jamaican accent man, walking around like a crab, telling you what's going on up there. And I feel like that's Shannon trying to get through the world, but he doesn't have to, because he's a princess underneath the sea, just fucking swirling around in his own ocean that loves him.
I just look at it like fucking, you think that Salvador Dali really cared about the reality that was swimming around him, fucking Willie Nelson got high in the White House, we got to think about deeper things, you know what I mean?
Like Willie Nelson getting high in the White House. That is pretty fucking deep.
The whole interdimensional door things.
But don't you think that Martha Washington got high in the White House, but then you realize there wasn't a White House yet?
I'm sorry that I left. John Lennon gave back his knighthood, I'm just saying. So
what conversation in your brain were you having that ended with John Lennon gave back his knighthood? Because that's awesome. That's rock star thing. But what was the thought that spawned Yeah, he's so rock and roll. He gave back his. He's not Sir John. He's just John because he said fuck it.
No. I just saw that Kenny Wayne Shepherd was the blues community. I'm just a little pissed about that. I don't like to get political and all, but Kenny Wayne's a car collector and he had a fucking replica of the Dukes of Hazzard car, and so the fucking blues Grammy fucking thing, which he won, however they do it, took it away from him because of, he had pictures of him with this,
with the Dukes of Hazzard car.
Wait, they took away a Grammy because he had a Dukes of Hazzard car?
Well, it wasn't the Grammys; it was the Blues Association thing. But it's important to blues, and and it was bullshit. And Kenny Wayne Shepherd's about the least racist fucking guy on the planet, and he collects muscle cars. Everyone knows it. That's a fan and follows him. And for them to do that car, and then he had to come out and say, I covered the flag up years ago or whatever. And then, and of course, all the black blues.
Did people not remember that Lemmy walked around in full fucking Nazi swastika garb all the time and people still play Ace of Spades all the time like it's no problem?
Well, that Lemmy, we're talking Kenny Wayne Shepherd and Motorhead.
No, I know, but I'm just saying I'm a Jew. It didn't offend me. It just made me like Lemmy more. I don't know why, because I think that's a hateful thing, but it's just he was fucking out of his mind, and you expected him to be doing crystal meth, wearing a fucking Hitler hat. Like, why wouldn't he be doing that?
He would fucking put it, in his Coca-Cola, to the day he died. Yeah, that's how he did it.
That's the old style Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Put crystal meth in your Coke. That was Lemmy.
Anyways,
Lemmy killed by death. Killed by death.
Well, that was the thing in the movie Airheads that I thought was the most authentic, joke, which was when they're talking to Egon Spangler, Harold Ramis, as most people know him, who's the record executive. They said who would win in a fight, Lemmy or God, and of course he's like, well, and he's like, trick question, Lemmy is God. And that's how I knew that movie had some gravitas, and that Brendan Fraser and Adam Sandler and Steve Buscemi, whatever his fucking name is, were a band.
Buscemi.
The Lone Rangers.
Buscemi.
The Lone Rangers. 3 Lone Rangers.
You're a Cologne Ranger.
So, yeah.
All right.
Cologne Ranger.
Taking a lot of left turns there.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're going.
Now we're back.
Somebody reel this back.
Yeah,
in,
I think what we were getting to is, so you guys were in the Piss Ants, and
right.
Somehow that turned into the Apocalypse Blues revival. So let's connect the story there.
I tried out for the band. Thank you. I tried out for the band, Corey. I did. So, but I was in that band. I was living in Costa Rica, and I landed. He said, "Let's do this thing," and we did because of that little. It was happenstance. So then they moved to Florida. Nobody was living in Florida then. But then Shannon and Tony, they migrate to Florida. Well, the bass player wouldn't go. I'm a and I at the time.
People in general didn't live in Florida, or that Godsmack did not live? Because I feel like people had already habitated Florida at that point.
Ben, stop talking.
Don't answer Ben's questions. They're off topic. Just ignore them.
Okay, that's mincing. Anyways, so yeah. I didn't. Then while I was in Costa Rica, and then I get to California, and Shannon and Tony are in Florida, but they're playing a lot, and their affliction to play blues music and do dirty little haunts, and just to get their mind out of Godsmack world. Godsmack world's awesome, but it's a different world, and they're musicians, they hone their craft.
Anyone that just listens to only one style of music that considers themselves a musician should open their mind. It's just like Frank Zappa said, because that's one thing we have in common, Shannon, is our love for Frank Zappa, is that a mind is like a parachute. It does not work unless it's open.
That's truth, man. But what happened was when Shane went to Costa Rica, that ended the Funky Ants, because by the way, just a quick side note.
You were the Piss Ants and then you went to the Funky Ants?
Yeah, let me just do this. I can do this one quick because I've said it before. But so in regards to the Piss Ants, that fateful night that Shane was in the control room, that's a true story. He really did that. We came in and really started that band right there. And it became something that lasted 6-7 years, over 35 songs, like you said, over five different studios. We recorded together, writing music together. But all the while, the big machine, Godsmack, was going. So we would do it whenever we'd have breaks. And then when Shane went to Costa Rica, well, and after we had got masks, suits, man, like he showed you a doll. We had dolls. We had all this big marketing plan. And then we went for the big deal, you know, like whatever they went for, the big ones, Nickelodeon. And
Disney.
So anyway, the Piss Ants became, you know, after investors got involved and everything. And our music was very happy and positive anyway. And it was true. It was funk in the vein of like, Sly and the Family Stone was nice. Like you know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
If you wanted to be funky and positive, I am everyday people, motherfuckers, right? Or whatever. And so everything, that was a rule. Our lyrics had to all be positive, right? And so with that said, then when one of our investors, Paul Geary, manager of Godsmack, $50,000, came in and said, hey, I'll give you guys some money and let's try and get a fucking deal, but tone it down and let's write for the fucking tweens. And I had this comic book written and Shane found an artist. We got a fucking dude to make a comic book that was going to come with the rec. We had this whole market.
Wait, Gary convinced you to make a comic book?
Listen,
No,
man.
that was
You
all
know,
right.
you had it written, you said.
I made the fucking comic book, all right?
Okay.
I wrote the story and fucking the whole band. We had this whole plan. And me and Shane write these crazy cool lyrics. And it was fun, man. And it was all fun. And our whole thing, too, is we could be like Kiss and not fucking, no one would know who we are. We'd have these masks on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, Tony and I, who were in Godsmack and with this band, you know, wanted to be, we could be anonymous and we could play true funk music and blah, blah, blah. And for kids, then it became, you know, I like funk and ice cream and shit. It went.
Wait, you mix funk and ice cream?
Yeah, it was great. Go ahead, shit.
That shit was dope. But it didn't get signed, man. And, you know, we shopped it around. And once you've shopped to the majors, you don't want to go to, you know, whatever. And it was a side thing and it was a gamble and we didn't get signed. So Shane, in the meantime, had moved to Costa Rica. So the band was, well, you know, the machine was trying to get a sign or whatever. And went and had a bar down there and everything was so happy and blah, blah, Godsmack. Now we're writing the next record. And so the Funky Ants didn't ever break up. Hey, you know, we're breaking up, Shane. It was like, we no longer just were together. Shane moved out of country. We were jamming. I was in Boston a lot, whatever, man. And the band dissolved. And so a year and a half later, 3 years later, because writing of the next record was when Tony and I started jamming with doing blues. And it was called Blue Cross, by the way. And we played for 6 years as Blue Cross with no record deal, no aspirations for a record deal. Our whole thing was to play blues in small clubs, to get away from the whole big machine of being.
Must be nice.
We're very grateful to be, but in this huge fucking band, man, you know what I mean? In the rock world, we're in this big band. And so it's nice to come for us and just have, by the way, total freedom and no pressure to jam on the stage and write these songs that are just, they don't have to be for the radio. They don't have to be hit songs. They can be written for people who like mushroom tea. It can be. I have a new song, by the way. It's called "Skinny and the Mushroom Fairy." Wait till you hear it, Shane. It's fucking dope.
That's new to me.
Skinny and the
Mushroom Fairy.
They're gonna be honored when they hear this epic.
I can't wait to tell him. Now he's gonna be stoked that you
Don't tell him till it's done though, and then play him the song. So check this one out.
Here you go, Skinny and the Mushroom Fairy.
Anyway. But
that's an inside deal, boys and girls.
Which, by the way, that brings me to, I'm sorry to the 2020 crew for leaving so abruptly on the last. But what happened was when the tea did kick in, sometimes I get nausea, and you know, and at first, I was zoning and everything was cool. It wasn't really about dust mites that drove me off. It was more about like nausea, you know? And so at that point I had to get into a fetal position.
Yeah.
So that's I can't remember what I said. I said something like, all right, I'm consciously going to.
I gotta go.
Yeah, it's all good, man. That episode
cool.
actually hasn't come out yet. It's going to come out in a couple weeks. So I think it was a good one. Yeah.
It's April 1st, right?
Yeah. So
no, but the thing is, it's funny because you're like, I've been on this 3 times in a month. I'm like, yeah, like in reality, but not in our 2020 world.
Not in 2020
I know you're in
world.
Shannon world, but like no one knows what happens with David Aberzies yet.
the
They
first,
don't even know. No, well, we released the first one called The Psychedelic Biker. So we understand. We foreshadow Shannon.
Yeah.
And then it shows how he's built a relationship, a synergy amongst Siobhán, myself, and Cory. We have a mutual understanding. Then we came back because he had said something to us, which we thought was a challenge. He likes David Aberzies. We're friends with David. So we're like, fuck it. So he said he'd come co-host if we got David. So I had David kind of send him an old school WWF, like, Hogan.
Yeah.
Hogan.
But spoken through a lava lamp.
So you understand that this is how he calls Shannon. And he basically says, Shannon, you got to get 2020'd with me. And it turns out that apparently he had been a fan of his and had been watching him since Wrathchild and said he had met him with a boa constrictor around his fucking neck. So we invited them back on the show. Yes. Shannon took a half ounce of mushrooms and tea, which, by the way, if anyone knows, a side effect of even a small amount of mushrooms can be it's nausea. So a half ounce of mushrooms, like a not throwing up, that's a champion.
We grind them up, and then you just put them in and lick them like that when I'm taking motorcycle rides because it just numbs the pain. Perfect.
But the point being, there is an episode coming out of 2020 very soon that I don't think you guys are going to want to miss.
It was a fun one.
That's what Shannon is really referencing right now.
Looks like David Aberzies looks like he's Hunter S. Thompson. Yeah. Literally, it's fucking, and he just finds a dog on the side of the road.
This is my first podcast. I've never even done this shit. Shannon had to pep talk me to do it. Actually,
I hope you're enjoying it. Yeah,
it's easy. It's because of you guys. I think it's because I showed up early, like a workout.
Yeah. Well, you're also the fucking real deal, dude. Like I love the fact that
Shannon's gone.
We lost Shannon.
Shannon's been gone. Like, how long has he been here for real though, in Shannon time? But
did he leave?
I
think his internet.
Who knows what's up with Shannon? Remember, he said his internet was what?
Unstable.
Unstable. Clearly, it wasn't lying. But I'm saying that as soon as you signed on, Shane, I was like, this guy's the real deal. He looks like he's the real, like unless you're lying to me, this guy's the real deal.
No, I don't know. I don't know how to do anything different. I'm just saying, I'm being honest. He had to pep talk me. I'm like, I don't, what the fuck do I have to say, really? He's like, well, you're the singer, dude.
It's so cool to hear the backstory of you. I can tell that you guys really have a close relationship. I mean, it's so cool to have that. I think it's pretty rare for someone to have like a companion like that through so many different projects and, making music together, touring together.
Almost 2 decades? That's a long fucking time,
I mean,
bro.
more if you started in, mid-late 90s, right? That's over 20 years, like 25 years. That's incredible.
It is a trip. And I have to say, like, since it's out there in the world, like, I definitely was, I thought this through where I got into being a backline guy. I got into working in the music industry to find my moment and my tribe to make music with, right? And me and Shannon, there's a communication thing that helps because, as we all know, you're musicians. We're all musicians, and you don't have some classically trained, you have so much. I was looking at all the shit you've done. I can't touch on that. But I have a lot of touring experience, the work part of this lifestyle I got.
First off, can we just start off by saying if you're trying to compare yourself in any way, shape, or form to any of Siobhán Cronin's accolades, you might as well just slit your wrists and give up because it's obnoxious. She's got like master's degrees. She's like a trained show pony.
No, but I've learned so much more.
Hold on, shut up. I'm not done talking about you. She's fucking plays 7. Okay, listen to this, guys. This is a true story. Shannon, listen to this. You'll appreciate this. I thought that I had something over Siobhán because I'm stupid. I thought that I could play this beautiful piano and that when she would come play her violin that I was like showing her something that maybe one day she could understand. Turns out She's a better pianist than I am too, but she doesn't call herself a pianist, and therefore let me think for years that she didn't even play because she's just so humble. She didn't want to tell me that I'm not as fantastic as Eric Gales thought he was.
I was intimidated. I looked, I had to research a little because I didn't want to come in my first time. Like I said, like this is a whole different thing. Shannon had to coerce me.
Only takes once.
Yeah, clearly,
as you can
clearly
see,
you didn't watch any of our episodes because then you wouldn't have been afraid at all. You would have realized we have no idea what we're doing, and we're.
I don't watch this. I'm not. It's not my wheelhouse.
You don't watch it either.
Yeah.
No disrespect. I'm not disrespecting.
No, it's okay.
Just saying.
I can't say.
Yeah.
I'm not keeping up with what people are saying or thinking.
Oh, hold on, but why would you want to? Why would you, when you're having a bar on the beach in Costa Rica, like, okay, let's get in the mind of Shane for a moment. Let's get in the hall of the Mountain King over here, Shane Hall of the Mountain fucking crazy over here, okay, with his fucking Robert Plant meets fucking Crazy Man meets fucking I should be singing the blues somewhere, and he lives in Costa Rica. So you're going from the mountains, so you're at Whistler one moment, and then the next moment you're like, I'm catching a fucking wave in Zealand, bro, and then next thing you know, he's fucking touring Europe with fucking Shannon, then he's backpacking, playing in a band called the Piss Ants that writes funky Disney music. What the flying fuck? You have nothing to say, Shane. I gotta tell you, bro. I feel enlightened by you because you know what? You can have all the tick, 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 ticks on the screen. But the fact is, why would you want to watch a podcast like this if you could build a fucking bar on the beach? It means that you don't need what we're providing right now. Unless you want it. You can have it if you want it. But you don't need it. The people that are listening to this somehow, just like we do, kind of need us.
Hey,
it's like a codependent relationship that neither can quit.
Benny, is this show 2020 big in like Boston? You're in Boston, right?
I don't know. You have to ask Cory. He digs
his
into
mom
the metrics.
watches it. We know that.
My mom. There's about that, but she's more Worcester.
Siobhán, are you in Boston?
No, I'm in Miami.
No way.
Yeah, in Florida.
Miami. Are you coming to the show?
What show?
The show?
Oh, I'm giving away my cards.
We're not playing Miami, but we're starting to play. We're going to Weekend Warrior it.
Where?
Well, we're playing Punta Gorda.
Okay.
And then we're playing, in fact, in this place called Ingleberry, I think, right? Or Castleberry.
Okay. Are the dates public? Like, are they online? Can people find them?
Yes.
Memorial Day weekend.
Listen, if you go to apocalypsebluesrevival.com or whatever, we have it on there. Or on our Facebook, it's all over everywhere.
I
just want to say,
it's
the apocalypsebluesrevival.com. I know that because I said I said Apocalypse Blues Revival on the first episode, and it didn't exist. It didn't go anywhere. I felt bad, so I actually bought the domain. So it now redirects, Apocalypse Blues Revival redirects to the Apocalypse
Blues
Revival. Yeah. So,
dude,
you're a good guy. Wow.
if you guys want it, I'll transfer it.
No.
Beautiful.
I felt bad because I was giving the wrong address the entire first podcast.
The coolest,
realize how maniacal that could have gone. Because like if I had bought it, I'd be like, Shannon, okay.
You'd be like negotiating how much to sell.
I really like Gibson
You were getting a
guitars.
Christmas card for me. I hope
that was nice of you.
I was like, I don't believe in Jesus.
And then you wear fur.
But listen, when we play in that, I think Castleberry or Engleberry.
Yeah, I'm gonna look right now.
It's a blues rock vintage car festival.
Wow.
And that's why Shane is going to give his 6'4" Riviera away. But of course, you'll get. Did you already explain that, Shane? We're going to get.
It might not be at that show.
I'm buying a record anyway because I support
honest,
all
it might
bands.
not be at that show unless we sold all 300 records by the time.
Can I ask a favor? I'll ask it on the air. Can you guys personalize one and like write "fuck you, Benny," like you suck? Because I put them up in my studio, as you can see around me. I'm like surrounded with tessellations.
Yes.
Of like signed shit. So
yes.
I would love you should write something really obnoxious like, you suck or mow my lawn. I'll give you the money for it because I think everybody that's listening should go buy your record and support all the bands that you love because where you might think that this is an easy thing. It's not an easy thing. Everyone thinks it's unrealistic because it is unrealistic. It's very, very, very hard for bands to make money doing what they love. Artists at all. So I recommend, please go buy the fucking record, buy the shirts, go buy your friends' fucking records. Don't
Support
make
the
them
band,
ask
support
you.
the
It's
music,
obnoxious. Because Siobhan's just used to being called in because she's a violinist. Because again, only people with money can afford Siobhan. People like myself,
that is not true.
Cory,
There are so many
Shane.
things that I do for nothing. So many things. I care about the music. Of course.
Well, you do because you're a humble person. But like the fact is that you basically play cricket, which like none of us can afford to play. Like literally, like Shane, did you learn the violin? No, he was already fucking working a full-time job by the time his brain couldn't encode the technique required to play even remotely like you. And why would he waste his time? Because nobody's gonna play close to you because you're fucking literally your mom's a tiger mom. And Marie
if it makes you feel
literally
any
might
better-
as well just fucking waterboarded you into playing Paganini.
No,
You're a pretty
I was
big
lucky
deal,
growing
Siobhan.
up.
You're a
No,
pretty
thank
big
you,
deal.
thank you. But if it makes you feel better, Benny, I actually paid my way through college and my master's, and I used to
And
take
your mom
buses.
probably made you. And
No,
made
she
you feel
didn't
bad
make
about
me.
it too.
She spent her money on high school education, and that was it. So that was I
As she was
paid my
wearing
way
her
through
diamonds,
college.
she was probably like pay for the next semester with her like 47 carats of diamonds and her Louis Vuitton and her Burberry. It's fucking awesome. Guys, there's a reason she's so good.
No,
A Florida band, Siobhan?
sorry.
The Star Set, a Florida band? Is it
No,
your-
they're based in Ohio, in Columbus.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So the guys are all from Columbus area generally, but then the string players, there's me and then a cellist. The cellist is based in Vegas, and then I'm in Miami.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, the truth is when you have 2 billion streams, you might know this because you might be in a band that's at this level. But when you have
Where
2
are you
billion
at,
streams, you
Cory?
can live in different states. It works.
Yeah.
Cory, where are you at? Where do you dwell, Cory?
Where
in
do I-
Miami. So not South Beach, but like mainly in
He
Miami.
was asking Cory, Siobhan.
Oh, me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm
I
just,
didn't hear it.
I'm
Don't
just,
be mean to Siobhan.
Sorry. He's always mean to me. I'm used
I'm
to
just
it.
30 minutes south of Boston. I'm not too far. Ben, I'm just like, yeah, a little further than Ben.
He's an Attleboro guy.
Yeah.
Nice. Man, we got people on the West Coast here, and the Florida, and the Boston. We fucking kick ass, man.
We're all
This is-
hanging.
Well, that's why I was asking
So-
packed powder versus, like just normal crazy, like, because I'm a New England guy, so we don't get that kind of fucking snow that you get in Whistler or Mammoth. I can go fucking rocket with you, but like that's not how I grew up because I'm not like Siobhan where I'm cultured.
No, I can't snowboard for shit. I skied a little
I
bit,
know.
but
You learned about things at the
Ski.
Louvre.
yeah, I tried snowboarding, but I was horrible. Absolutely horrible.
This sounds arrogant. I can do both.
Look at you.
Oh shit!
I never tried snowboarding because I got good at skiing and I figured to myself like, why start over again?
I know, but you got to have that tight butt the whole time you ski. You got to loosen up a little, have some soul. So snowboarding works for that. I'm just joking.
I kind of like having a tight ass. Though.
I made that shit up.
It's true. It really works your ass, and it's also like doing the hoverboards. Like you really do work your core. It's like when you ski or you go down. People don't realize that how do those guys do so well? They have insane core strength and can use their brain like a fucking like Nintendo controller and be like because it requires such crazy little movements, and people don't get it, and that's why they end up hitting trees.
All right. And on that note,
Don't go down the
Great
glade,
way to
Grandma.
end
Don't
the
go down the
episode.
glade.
Bring it
It's
back
not a
in,
good
Cory.
idea.
what's
Bring it back in.
so it is April Fool's Day, and you guys have now officially released the video for your track, brand new track, No One Will Miss Me.
Featuring
About transcendence.
Kenny James from the great Rare Earth. Kenny James, who played the keys on that one, the Hammond B3, which, by the
Nice.
way, the Hammond B3 that he played it on came from Muscle Shoals Studios. And it had a
Legendary.
little, like, extra knob thing on it that they claimed Greg Allman put on there. But that, I don't know. But I do know that it was actually bought from Muscle Shoals Studio, and that so therefore Greg Allman could very well have played it. So the great Kenny James from Rare Earth, who got a Grammy nomination the year I was born, by the way, this cat, he's playing on the keys, right?
Amazing.
On this song. which is pretty phenomenal, right? Right, Benny? Come on.
That's amazing.
This is the thing that people have to understand. That back in the day, before there was Nord leads, before there was VST instruments where you could just plug into the midis or get your fucking Casio or Realistic at Radio Shack. You had to get, okay, a fucking real organ. You couldn't just bring it anywhere, bro. Like, this was a fucking 600-pound fucking thing, and you got a Leslie speaker that turned around, and then if you wanted fucking distortion, you literally distorted it, and then people played with their feet. That is a different thing, and it was a rare thing, and it happened in Rare Earth, which is a band that if you don't know funk, if you don't know soul, if you don't know what a Hammond B3 sounds like.
It's amazing. Yeah.
All I know is Kenny James played on this new video, and he played in the Great Rare Earth.
But
song you said you told me on the fucking thing.
No, I know, but can I say something about it? Now, let me ask you this: what's it called? Is it the Mandela effect?
You've been talking.
Kenny James. 1 second. Kenny James is like the Mandela effect. It's like the Mandela effect because you don't even need to say he's legendary. Because if you said
that's how our show works. Ben talks, and then we wait.
Benny is a big talker.
Listen, Benny. Benny. Now, God damn it.
See, that's what happens. Well, welcome to
our world.
I was talking because it meant, Benny told me that he was like an encyclopedia of anything from Del Shannon up to fucking whatever, right? And I'm thinking, listen, this is one of these things that Shane and I have in common. And one of the things that we bonded from music about is like we have a knowledge of whatever, older 60s, 50s music or whatever from his sisters singing perhaps, or my mom and dad certainly listen to all that shit, right? And so, and then there it was.
Are you trying to test me out? Like, well, first off, it really pisses me off because I just got a Randy Rhoads Sandoval V, and it's in the shop right now being worked on. So I would have totally just grabbed it with the polka dots and the fucking bow ties. But I gotta tell you that I love all of that kind of stuff. And I say that because I grew up in an oldies radio station, 1310 AM stereo in WORC in Worcester, Massachusetts, which is actually where John Garabedian, the infamous open house party, heard in 175 markets for 40 years, is started off. And I listened to a lot of that stuff, everything from the Supremes and to the Beatles, but like Dion and the Belmonts. Like I knew a lot of Dion songs versus just Dion and the Belmonts. And that's one of those things that I didn't internalize till later when you see people in their 60s or 70s and they want to dance. And you're like, dude, put on Run Around Sue. And then you realize that guy's just a scoundrel. Like listen to those lyrics. Like how were they not offended? But that was a different time. And I mean, Get Ready by Rare Earth. That's a fucking amazing song. Or Hey Big Brother, don't you fucking test me, Larkin. I will fucking own you. No, I love all that shit, man. And I pay my homage to it because that's how I respect you. Because anyone that thinks that if you're in a band that's as successful as Godsmack and you write music that's as good as Godsmack and you have as consistent hits as Godsmack, as Shannon has let us know, casually just happens. It's just number ones with that band. You need to, in my opinion, as a producer, as a musician, get the funk out. Literally, Geary tells you with the band Extreme, Nuno Betancourt. It's true. You got to get the funk out because sometimes, playing that chuggity chug metal thing. Look, man, it's awesome in front of Metallica's crowd. In fact, the fact that they don't boo you in front of Metallica tells you how important you are to rock and roll and heavy metal. Because, you know what? I feel like opening for Metallica or Iron Maiden or Slayer is literally the kiss of death, unless you're Kiss. You know what I mean? And then it's not, because they love you too. And I think that you have to go play blues, or you have to go play funk to continue to keep that shit fresh. Or otherwise it's going to dry out like your weed without one of those fucking things that keeps it all like nice hyperclimate in there. You know what I mean? Like, that's the blues is the hyperclimate.
I need to smoke some weed.
Yeah.
I think we all do at this point.
Hyperclimate going.
Yeah.
You can use one of those jars with the clamp too. It keeps your weed nice and moist.
There you go.
Moist is a terrible word, Shannon. Let's not say moist.
Well, Shannon and Shane, listen, do you guys...
I love juice, man. I love juice.
What's up, Cory?
Is there anything else you guys want to let our listeners, our viewers know about with the Apocalypse Blues Revival?
Please
and anything you guys are going on?
Yes, we are playing. And so I've thought about this, and I will say that I'm 53 and that this is the longest I've never played my drums in front of a crowd in my entire life since I was 12, literally. And that's fucking many years. I'm not good at math. I'm good at drums. So
it's 41 years.
That's at least like 30
40
years.
Yeah, so it looks like it's you have May 28th and 29th. Does that sound right? You have Port Charlotte and then Castleberry, Florida, right?
Yes.
Siobhán, yes.
Yes, so I will be there.
And I'm like, what is that? The thing in between your asshole or some shit?
And the vinyls are shipping pretty soon.
Woo!
I want my fuck you vinyl. I'll send you my $100 Venmo. Just let me know.
No, it'll be on the website. We're doing a little bundle package that there's going to be 300
it's the Apocalypse Revival.
We'll give away my car. The
ApocalypseBluesRevival.com. And if you go to Apocalypse Blues Revival, Cory was nice enough to buy the domain 2020U because maybe he'll hold you like ransom. I mean, we need to talk about this offline, Cory. I feel like you're being awfully kind without like consulting us. That seems awfully selfless of you.
I really love Cory. He's my new favorite person.
That was a good call, Cory.
Yeah, I was only saving my own ass for giving the wrong URL, so it's not
I just want to celebrate some rare earth. I just want to celebrate at Apocalypse Blues Revival.com.
Don't listen to Ben. He smoked too many things. He forgot everything.
The link will be below. I promise you. Wherever you're listening or watching, the link, you just click on it. It'll take you there.
If you tell it to them wrong, they'll have to figure it out. You know what I mean? Like they'll go back and they'll be like, "What was he saying?" And then they'll look it
let's
up.
just be clear and let them look at the link. But the point is, buy the vinyls, go to the show.
Right, you're going, right, Siobhán?
Yeah, I will totally go.
That's
because with all your fame and power and juice, we need that.
I will definitely share it. Hopefully, my Florida friends will come check it out.
I can't bring any juice, but I can bring juice.
Well,
do that. Just make sure
we're playing. We're going to play every weekend that we can in the great state of Florida. And we already have like a lot of other gigs that are just not confirmed, but that I've personally spoken to the places and they say, yes, this date. So we have about, probably, I would say, probably 8 shows that I'll, have to get confirmed.
Well, we'll make sure that by the time this actually airs, if those shows exist.
It's airing on April 1st.
In the Shannon world.
They exist.
Which is today.
I mean, but like literally, like they've materialized into a format that he can then direct. We will make sure that hyperlink and that those dates are then displayed. So that our stoner minds don't have to know.
I just say, I'm not talking about when or announcing it or whatever. I'm just saying that as a fucking, musician, it's just very exciting, to play again. That's all.
Absolutely. So happy for you guys.
I'm with you, dude. I haven't played in forever. I was even saying that, like,
the first show knows out, bro, and it's only a 300 seater, but we'll probably sell out our first show. That'd be cool.
Bro, listen, I haven't even DJ'd for people. Like, you nevertheless played out. Like, I'm going out of my fucking mind, so I can only imagine, dude. Please bring me on stage with you sometime. I can't wait to play with you guys. That'll be fun. Dude, listen, tell Shannon to call me later. I'll learn whatever he needs me to learn. David Abruzzese, just so you know, he sent me a Kinks song, and it was fucking hilarious because he was like, yeah, after I had finished it, was like, yeah, so you should keep the organs exactly how they were, and then if you want to do a piano thing, and I just did exactly what I wanted, and then I was like, but I already recorded it and sent it to you, and then he's like, I fucking love it. And so that crazy video you saw him playing, he sent me that, and I play on it. And then it's going to be with the dude, Carmine Rojas from David Bowie's band.
Cool story.
Like on like Let's Dance. Is playing bass on it. So like I got to say also thanks to David because we're going to be playing on that track. So I play some. It's not Hammond B3. It's more of like Perfect Strangers. Like distorted organ sound with a little bit of the whirls to it. And I put some old school honky tonk piano on it. So
Nice.
You know, I'm happy to play for you guys. Just let me know, and I will jump. And not
So
even
wait,
talk.
I
if
gotta
you
ask
want.
a question. I just gotta ask a question for my own personal thing before we go. So all three of you guys, do you guys do like the record? You enjoy it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right on.
Super
All
cool.
right, perfect.
And the
Yeah.
videos, man. The videos are fucking out there. They're literally.
There's
like,
a new video coming out today. I think
Today.
you're putting it on your shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
Absolutely.
it's happening.
Link below. Shannon, Shane,
Click on
thank you guys so much for forcing us
This
to do
was so
an extra
fun.
episode this week.
Yeah,
And
this was nice to
give us,
break
giving
out of
us an excuse to
the
hang out.
Yeah.
You know,
Break the mold of our Monday, Wednesday,
And,
or whatever.
and I
Sunday,
can't wait for everyone to
Wednesday.
come see you guys live and for you guys to sell that shit the fuck out.
I'm gonna
Thank
pimp it
you.
out to all my Florida friends. So I hope.
we're coming for you, Punta Gorda.
Woo!
Punta Gorda.
Punta Gorda, we coming for you.
the Apocalypse Blues
Shout
Revival.
out, Big Lou Phoenix. Big Lou Phoenix and Punta Gorda. We're coming to play for you, man.
Right on.
Boom,
2020.
cloud, man.
2020.com 2020, the Apocalypse Blues Revival.com. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate it.
y'all.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your time.
Talk to you guys soon.
Catching up with
Cheers.
you.
With Wayne, I think he was very underrated as a guitarist and singer and performer overall. They had the tribute concert for him after he passed, and that's when it became clear how great Wayne actually was, with like the range of his voice, how strong it was everywhere, and how accurate his guitar playing was, how just what kind of a monster performer he was. Nobody really can hold a candle to him playing those songs the way he played them.